Petition referred to the Committee on Public Petitions. Honorable members, the first business of the day's presentation report of Conference Committee on a bill for an act to facilitate the development of Nigeria's capital market by enabling the conversion and re-registration of the Nigerian Stock Exchange from a company limited by guarantee to a public company limited by shares, and for related matters standing in the name of Honorable Yusuf Tajuddin. Honorable Tajuddin is now invited to move the motion. Rules and business.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that item number 1 on the order paper be stepped down as Honorable Tajuddin obviously is not on the floor. I so move.
Item 1 on the order paper stepped down by leave of the House. Honorable members, second business of the day's presentation report of the Committee on Federal Capital Territory on Bill of an Act to provide for establishment of the FCT Emergency Management Agency and for related matters standing in the name of Honorable Sajos Ogun. Honorable members who recall the bill was referred to the committee on Thursday, 5th October 2017. The report is ready for presentation and Honorable Ogun is now invited to present it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm Sejus Ose Ogun. I represent East and Southeast, East and Northeast, and I'm from Edo State. I rise to move that the House do receive the report of the Committee on Federal Capital Territory on a bill for an act to provide for establishment of the Federal Capital Territory Emergency Management Agency and for related matters. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Second, Honorable Adaji.
Honorable Speaker, my colleagues, Honorable Ezekiel Adaji from Benue State. I represent Sukupo Vimi. Stand to second representation of this report as presented by Sajus Osuseko.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Sajos, please proceed and lay the report. Honorable members, the third business of the day's presentation report of the Committee on Justice on the bill for an act to amend the Extradition Act, Chapter E, 25, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Razak Atumwa. Honorable members who recall that the bill was referred to the committee on Tuesday, 21st November 2017. The report is ready for presentation, and Honorable Atumwa is now invited to present it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Razak Atumwa representing Asari Lower West Federal Constituency, Kwara State. I rise to move that the House do receive the report of the Committee on Justice on a bill for an act to amend the Extradition Act, Chapter E25, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and for related matters. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Second, Honorable Gaza.
Right, Honorable Speaker, Honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Gaza Jonathan Befi, and I represent the people of Karu, Kefi Kokona Federal Constituency. I rise to second the motion, ably move and overturn that the bill be received. I so move. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable Atumwa, please proceed and lay the report. First order of the day, honorable colleagues, commencement of debate on general principles of Bill for an Act to amend the Animal Diseases Control Act, Chapter A17, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to increase some penalties to provide for establishment and maintenance of electronic animal identification system throughout the Federation, provide for the prevention of the introduction and spread of infectious or contagious diseases among animals, poultry, and hatcheries in Nigeria, control of animal diseases using essential veterinary drugs, pesticide, biologists, veterinary medical devices or products of biotechnology, specified in Schedules 1 and 2 to this bill, and for related matters, standing the names of Honorable Ahmed Babba Keita, Honorable Ali J.C. Isa, and Honorable Abubakar Amuda Kani Keji. Honorable members will recall that the bills were consolidated on Tuesday, 27 March 2010. And now I invite Honorable Keita to move that the bill be now read a second time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I remain Ahmed Babba Keita, representing Kenjo Kusade Inga of Katsina State. Right Honorable Speaker, may I move that a bill for an act to amend the Animal Disease Control Act, CAP A73, laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 to increase some of the penalties and for other related matters, HB 682. I so move.
Honorable Kayode.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Distinguished colleagues, my name is Kayode Oladile. I represent Imekoa from Yewa North Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Ogun State and I rise to second the motion as a bill moved by Mr. Secretary. Thank you very much.
Honorable Keita, you may now lead the debate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, let me first refresh our memories that this is among the bills that the Right Honorable Speaker in his own wisdom have brought to the House to, among other things, facilitate those bills that have been laid. It's a very simple bill. It doesn't require much reason. What it's trying to say is let's increase the penalties because of the prevalence of diseases that we have that comes through the consumption of livestock, dairies, and other products, and which by the day is increasing, among which are the most serious, which is brucellosis. It's a disease that is becoming so rampant in this country, and it's only because there is no proper management of our abattoirs to check this. If there were penalties as the system was as effective as it used to be, then I'm sure we would have avoided those things. What is even more frightening is that the disease is that it has the symptom of common fever, which can result in infertility in the humans. Typhoid fever too is traced to these diseases. But only very few people know and even know where it is gotten from. Most of the typhoid fever that we have and the rate, the increasing rate we have is traced to dairies. And even the United Nations recently gave a figure of about 220,000 deaths per annum related to this. So this bill is only trying to say, okay, let's be responsible enough. Let's raise the penalties. Let's monitor our abattoirs since these diseases are avoidable. Mr. Speaker, Right Honorable colleagues, I gave the background so that we avoid any, just to highlight the point here, so that to avoid any controversy on the bill. And therefore, the amendment of Section 10, Section 10 has to do with increase in fines prescribed for offenders to make it commensurate to the offense committed in Section 11. Is to make it a federal offense, not a local one. Two things here. The jurisdiction of this in the initial act was just given to the magistrate. What we are saying is that we should escalate it to become a federal district. That's one. Then two, to increase the penalties. That is just the essence of this bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Right Honorable, please.
Any more contributors to the debate? Honorable Aminu Shagari.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Aminu Shagari, I represent represent Yabo Shagari constituency in Sokoto State. I would like to say this straightforward bill, and it's a welcome development. The sponsor of the bill has now also said that this is supposed to make it a federal offense, to give or to make it a federal offense and give a high court jurisdiction over such matters. That is the amendment of section 11 of the bill. I would have thought that they would have done a better job when it comes to the control of pesticides and veterinary medical devices, use of veterinary medical devices and other products of biotechnology as specified in the schedule. Because now we have the use of harmful pesticides that are destroying our natural capital, and we need laws to regulate this. And this is a bill that, if it's well worked upon, it can address these issues. So I would suggest that during a public hearing, we look closely at these issues and prevent such harmful use, because we are losing our natural capital, which includes the bees and the vultures that are very important for our ecosystem. This is a bill that should take care of that. I support the bill, and I urge my colleagues to please do same. Thank you.
Any more contributor? Honorable Solomon Mare.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My dear colleagues, Engineer Solomon Mare is my name, and I represent Mangu Bokos. I'm from Plateau State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to lend my voice on this very beautiful bill, if passed to law, and that because this bill, if properly put together as it is reflected in the other paper, it is going to help us a lot in one, checking cattle rustling around the country, because if these animals have electronic identification, cattle rustling will also be a thing of the past. And if you look at also the prevention and the introduction and spread of infectious diseases, it is only when these cattle are moving, or animals move from one location to the other, that you discover that infectious cattle now infect other cattle in other areas that were not infected before, and that this encourages the spread of so many animal diseases around the country. And I think also if this bill is properly put the way it is also going to enforce the ranching system that the federal government is also interested in. And I think this is very, very important, and I urge that my colleagues will support this bill so that the bill can go on. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Honorable Sai.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues. I remain Honorable Osai Nicholas Osai. I represent the Bani Federal Constituency of Delta State. Mr. Speaker, I think the bill is in order in the sense that we are growing rapidly in urban areas, and most of these products that are imported ought to have been subjected to some examination. And this is what this bill intends to cure. When you examine most of these products, it goes a way of controlling diseases that will likely spread, to human beings. And if these things are subjected to this examination, I think our health-wise will be improved. And secondly, if the law do not provide any penalty for offender, this is what this law is trying to cure. Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, I believe that this bill should be allowed to pass through second reading and go to committee of the whole, if not even taken straight to the committee to examine, because there's really nothing much to examine here by public hearing. The bill is straightforward, and my intention is to be subjected, to committee of the whole house, so that we can pass this bill with the speed of light it requires. I rest my case, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Kayode.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Kayode Oladele. I represent you and North America Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I'm from Ogun State. I also rush to lend my voice to this very important bill that seeks to amend an extant law. Mr. Speaker, it's not as if we don't have the law in place, we do. But what it seeks to do is to increase the penalty, because we also know the problems associated with the disease. A lot of people die on a yearly basis. Up to 220,000 people who die every year from this disease, but a lot of people don't know. So, and one of the reasons why there is no compliance with this law is because of the very poor penalty that people pay for contravention of the law. So what it does right now, what we are seeking to do, is to increase the penalty and make the law more strict than before, so that it will discourage disobedience. So to that extent, Mr. Speaker, I would also employ my colleagues to support this bill and let it pass through the second reading. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable EJ.
My right honorable Speaker and dear colleagues, I remain Honorable EJ Agboanyima, representing the good people of Ego, Bobaka Federal Constituency, Edo State. First of all, Mr. Speaker, let me appreciate and thank the sponsor of this bill for second reading, and I'm praying and appealing to this hallowed chamber, my honorable colleagues, to do the needful. This bill for an act to amend the Animal Disease Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 to increase some penalty. Mr. Speaker, for me, we all know what is right from wrong. Over the years, people have failed to respect the rule of law. This bill here speaks for itself. I don't want to bore you all much, but rather to join hands with other of my colleagues that have spoken on this very wonderful bill. Let's put this bill as a bill of urgent matter that should be supported in no ramification without being sentimental. This bill speaks for itself, Mr. Speaker and dear colleagues. I want to plead and appeal to this honorable chamber that this bill do see the light of day. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Haiti.
I remain Representative Idi Gyang, member representing Barikin Ladirium Federal Constituency. I'm from Plateau State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to lend my voice on this bill. And as colleagues have already spoken on the aspect that has to do with the increase of penalties to serve as a deterrence for would-be offenders, I want to focus on the aspect that has to do with to provide for establishment and maintenance of electronic animal identification system throughout the Federation. Mr. Speaker, one of the things that have contributed to the level of unrest and violence in this country has been the issue of cattle rustling. And when cattle or cows are stolen, sometimes it is difficult for the owners to detect, or when they are taken to the place outside where the owners have it, those that have rustled the cows can easily dispose of those cows. But where this provision comes into effect, that we have electronic animal identification, this will help immensely to check the criminal aspect of cattle rustling, and it will go a long way to address the issues of crisis and violence in this country. I therefore lend my voice to this bill to say that the prompt implementation, and particularly the establishment and maintenance of the electronic animal identification system throughout the Federation will be very, very helpful and enhance the resolution of most of this unrest that we are experiencing across the Federation. To that regard, I support this bill and ask honorable colleagues to support its passage. Thank you, Mr. Speaker and honorable colleagues.
Any more contribution? None. So I'll put the question. The question is the bill be now read a second time. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. Clerk is invited to read the long title of the bill.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to amend the Animal Diseases Control Act, Chapter A17 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to increase some penalties, to provide for establishment and maintenance of electronic animal identification system throughout the Federation, provide for the prevention of the introduction and spread of infectious or contagious diseases among animals, poultry and hatcheries in Nigeria, control of animal diseases using essential veterinary drugs, pesticide, biologies, veterinary medical devices or products of biotechnology as specified in Schedules 1 and 2 to this bill and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill referred to the Committee on Agricultural Production Services. Second order of the day, honorable colleagues, commencement of debate on general principles of bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the Federal University of Technology, Ogoja, and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Jarigbe Agom Jaribe. Honorable members who recall the bill was read the first time on Wednesday, 17th January 2018. I now invite Honorable Jaribe to move that the bill be now read a second time.
Right Honorable Speaker, esteemed colleagues, I'm Honorable Jarigbe Agon Jarigbe. I represent the good people of Ogoja Yala Federal Constituency. I'm from Cross River State. I rise to move that a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the Federal University of Technology, Ogoja, and for related matters be read the second time. I say move.
Honorable Johnson Oguma.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. And my fellow colleagues, I'm Honorable Johnson Agwahide Oguma, representing all the people of Itako Federal Constituency. I rise to second the motion ably moved by my Honorable Member Jarigbe. Mr. Speaker, I so second.
Honorable Jarigbe, you may now lead the debate. Honorable TJ, please could you locate your seats? Honorable John Dear and Honorable Dambaram, please take your seats. Honorable Jarigbe, please.
Right Honorable Speaker, esteemed colleagues, I want to give you a brief synopsis of a place called Ogoja. Ogoja happens to be one of those provinces created by Frederick Bugard after amalgamation. After that, we've not had any federal presence in Ogoja. The issue of establishing the Federal University of Technology in Ogoja is overdue because students seeking admission have to travel over 10 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours from various locations to the nearest degree awarding institution, which is the University of Calabar. And we've had a lot of agitations that we should establish a university in Ogoja for the people. We all know that because of lack of education and accessibility to institutions of higher learning and the capacity of our people to fund education. A lot of our youth have become very restive and giving us a lot of trouble in this country. I think that with the establishment of a university, it will make it more accessible to the people of Ogoja and the people around the environs. I want to appeal to my colleagues that we support the establishment of this institution in Ogoja so that it will have a positive multiplier effect to the people of Ogoja in terms of the economy and the education of our people. Honorable colleagues, I hereby move that this university is established in Ogoja for the good of our people. Thank you very much.
Honorable Jeff.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Okay, Jeff. I represent the good people of Buruku. My dear colleagues, I'm from Benue State. Mr. Speaker, I've listened to Honorable Jaribwe, and I hate to be a spoil sport in this matter. But, Mr. Speaker, establishment of universities is closely tied to the policy of a particular administration. There was a letter from the Minister of Education to Mr. Speaker, which was forwarded to my office. And the minister was complaining that the rate at which we are establishing higher institutions, universities on this floor, the ministry cannot catch up with that. And the federal government does not have the wherewithal to establish the universities based on what we are establishing here on the floor. I had a situation where at the end of the day, we come back and be complaining that we have passed laws here which are not being obeyed. That is my decision. I don't mind the university in my village. I can come here and I think in my vantage position as rules and business, I will get it passed on the floor. But the reality will be that that may not translate to a university in my village. So we have, as I speak, we have over 40 bills seeking to establish federal universities here on the floor of the House of Representatives. Now, the case Honorable Jaribwe is bringing, I'm not aware, I stand to be corrected, but I'm not aware that any state has more than one federal university. I'm not aware. Here we have a situation where we are seeking to establish a second federal university in one state. So let's be realistic. Do we want to pass laws here and complain tomorrow that the executive arm of government is not respecting our laws? Or do we just do it for the purpose of feeling good? Those are my posers. I can be overruled, but I think I should place it on record. Thank you.
Honorable Osai.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues. I remain Honorable Osai, Nicholas Osai. I represent Dokwa Okwani Federal Constituency of Delta State. Mr. Speaker, I intend to completely differ from the last speaker and his submission. My reasons are very simple. Go to the United States of America, every local government establishes universities. The essence of establishment of universities is to make sure that our people are well trained. And the proposal of the said university has clearly stated the population of Ogoja. The population is massive. And between Ogoja and the next town that you talked about in the state is completely very far, almost 5 to 6 hours from the destination of Ogoja. That seems to require, Mr. Speaker, even if we made a lot of requests in this house, it requires the federal government to look at it strategically and locate certain universities to certain strategic area. And Ogoja seems to be one of those people, and Ogoja is between the boundary town of Nigeria, and it ought to be compensated because I believe, Mr. Speaker, we shouldn't shut this bill down because it's strategically located, and I believe that establishing two universities, even in a state, is not bad at all, Mr. Speaker. You have gone to Houston, you have gone to Boston, where about 28 universities are established in that state, United States of America, and we're talking about the second university being established in a very far distant area, Ogoja, to be well strategically, and not only just establishing just any other university, but technology. And what are we talking? We're clamoring that Nigeria must be technologically improved. And this is a bill seeking to establish such an institution. I think we should give support to such a bill. So, Mr. Speaker, I support this bill wholeheartedly, and I urge all of us to support. And if there's more even requests from any other constituency, we will support it. Let the federal government improve our learning process. I rest my case, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Betty.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Betty Abiafi. I represent Abua Odualahoda East Federal Constituency. I'm from Rivers State. Mr. Speaker, I have listened to the contributions by the Chairman, House Services, and honorable colleague, Honorable Sai. And I'd like to state that I think when we are making comparisons at times, we should stop comparing ourselves with other countries and look inward to the challenges we have. To start with, we have so many universities that are underfunded, and the government is also establishing private universities. So now, the Chairman House Services has said he has over 40 houses. No, Chairman House Services. Rules and Business, sorry. I said he has over 40 outstanding bills seeking. So it's like every member now feels justified to ask for a university to be established in their constituency. And please, we have more serious business to do in this house, and we should focus on the things we should do. Establishing the federal universities we are establishing, we can't fund them. They are all underfunded. Go to the schools, they don't have the equipment to. Today, Nigeria is suffering from manpower issues. Manpower issues because the people that are coming out from the universities are not well trained. So why are we increasing the number of universities to increase the number of badly trained, educated students we are producing in the country? We are still doing sending students out of the country to go to universities because most parents don't even have enough confidence in the universities we have in Nigeria today. So I think, we should allow the Federal Ministry of Education to work with the universities already established in the various states of the Federation, rather than asking for more universities to be established in, be it technology universities or whatever. If the people of Ogoja feel that they need a university, the state governments can still establish their own institutions. So many states are establishing, in my own state for instance, we have three additional universities established by the state government. So the state government of Cross River State can establish
order, please, honorable colleagues, order.
In Ogoja, if he believes he has the funding to cope with that. But for now, we have a nation that is going through financial stress. And we should really take this issue very seriously. I think we should. Because, even as we are discussing here, Nkiru and I have said, fine, if everybody in this house is bringing a university to be established in their constituency, we will look stupid to our constituents if we don't bring. So everybody in this house, 360 universities are going to come. So I think we should just discard this issue. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Nkiruka.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am Kiruka Oyedoja. I represent the good people of Isukwatu Federal Constituency. I am from Abia State. Mr. Speaker, I will align myself to what Honorable Nicholas Osai have said. And I based my own submission to the fact that if we look at the universities we have today, if you come to one class, like in a course, you have over 200 people in a class. And population, we are increasing. And most people, we are not as educated as we want to be. And if a particular people want federal university, we can't say, okay, because of funding, then we don't do the needful. And of course, you will agree with me that establishing the university does not end here. So I am not going to agree that the bill will be stepped down. It has to go to the next stage, which is public hearing, because we might sit down here and believe that, Ogoja does not need one. And when it gets to public hearing, they will convince the people who are involved, who are directly involved with that, to say that they need it. Like I said, I need a federal polytechnic in my area. And because we don't have one around that vicinity, and of course, if you check the cost of people traveling from one place to the other because of all the things, of course, all of us know. You don't see why people will not support to establish universities, even though Honorable Betty is saying states can do. States are doing, but if you check the state universities, for instance, in Abia State, they sent students away for 2 weeks to go and look for school fees. And these are states that are not paying salaries. They are not even giving subventions. So I believe that we support this bill to go to the next level. And of course, we need federal universities in almost all the places that we need to, not local government, because the funding will come if we have the political will. Like somebody was saying this morning that, okay, you said this out of it, but that if you say, okay, people are stealing money, at what point did you find that the people are stealing money? Is it when you see money in some places? So if we plug all the loopholes and channel our resources where it's supposed to, it can give us as many federal institutions that we can get. So I support this bill that gets to the second reading. When it gets there, then the people who are directly involved will tell us whether they will be able to let it be or not. So I second this. I support the second reading of this bill.
Last from this row, Honorable Fake Mufia.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for yielding the floor to me. My name is Femi Fake from the state of Osun. I represent the Federal Oluwadoni Anila Federal Constituency. I just want to put up a retort against this comparing apples to oranges, talking about America has universities everywhere compared to Nigeria. One thing America does have that we don't have is what they call Congressional Budget Office. Before any bill, any money bill, any bill having to do with funding will get passed, that's an independent CBO that will take a look at the implication of that proposed bill on funding. Can government afford it or can it not? We don't have that here. And like somebody just rightly said, oh, if it's about bills writing, we're all here to write bills. Before you know it, there will be 360 proposals for universities. Well, I could write it for many reasons. Number one, maybe I'm sincere, I want it done actually, or I want to be seen at home as performing and putting in my own application. I have to decide which one is more important for me and for my people. Like the chairman, Rules and Business said, we could say, okay, fine, let it go. But what's the point if it stays on the shelf somewhere? And I think when you hear it said in the media or out there that, oh, the National Assembly is working at cross purposes with the executive, we don't really want to add any pep to that. We should work together. This company, this country, as we all know, the debt profile is rising. The last time I checked, 21 trillion naira in the whole and still counting. Somebody somewhere has to worry about how we pay that. I think instead of university in my village and in your village, we should worry about, oh, even the existing schools that we have, the graduate